Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to go do a tutorial on how to put photos on a page. This is probably one of the more important tutorials that you're going to be listening to over the next few days, so pay particular attention to this one. There will be a quiz over this tutorial, so keep that in mind. The quiz will probably take place at the beginning of class on the day after this tutorial is assigned for you to listen to. To add a photo to a page, most people assume that they go up here to File and they click on Open. But that's not correct. If I click on Open, I can open an InDesign document, but I can't open a photo. That's because this is not a program that opens photos. This is a program that places photos into a document, and that's exactly the command that we need to use. So keep that in mind. Every student, well, not every student, but many students every year do not learn this and repeatedly have trouble placing photos on their page and raise their hand and ask for help from me. But you have this tutorial and you are expected to learn how to do this the correct way, and that is not by using the open command, but we're going to go down here and we're going to go to the place command. You'll see there's a shortcut, Control D, so if that helps you to remember that, if that's something that you want to use, you can do that. So it's File, Place, and that's how you place a photo on the page. Now, there's a problem, and I'm going to show you what that is in just a second, but first, I'm going to go and I'm going to grab a photo, if I can find one. I'm just going to grab a random photo, and here's one, okay, pink texture this is called. Alright, so I grabbed it, but if you look at my cursor here, you'll see it's flashing, it's acting all funky, and there's a reason for that. InDesign right now has no idea where I'm trying to put this photo. It doesn't know what my intention is. If I click on the screen, it's going to add that photo in at 100% size, and you can see it's really blurry, and that's because this is an internet photo. It has really low resolution. So we would never want to run this at 100% size. If we were going to run this photo at all, we'd want to make it much smaller. And I'm going to teach you how to do what I'm doing now a little later on. So don't worry about that. But I do want you to see that you can't just place a photo on there. You have to do something else first, and that's where we get into this over here, our toolbar. I'm going to have some separate tutorials on the toolbar, but for right now I want you to see that right here there's a tool called the rectangular frame tool. You can scroll over it and the name will pop up for you if you have trouble remembering. That's rectangular frame tool. It does have a big X through it, and that X kind of is a sign for photos. If I hold down my mouse, you'll see that I get some others. There's an ellipsis frame tool and there's a polygon frame tool. Those tools allow us to put some picture frames in there in different shapes, including circles. But we'll get into that later when we talk about the toolbar. For right now, I'm just going to show you that we need to use a rectangular frame, and then come over here with my mouse. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag and I'm going to create a rectangular frame. Okay, now I have somewhere to put this picture. Okay, but I still have not selected the photo. As you can see here, I still have the tool selected, so it's going to basically allow me to just keep creating these rectangular frames, which I don't want to do. So I need to use another thing on the toolbar up here, the selection tool, to choose which spot I want my photo to go in. You can see when I use that tool, I get this black arrow, and then I can kind of click around and I can choose which box I'm going to put my photo in. In this case, I'm going to put my photo in this box here, so I'm going to select it, and you can see that I have it selected by the way that it gives you these little tabs on the corners. Alright, now I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Place, and voila, I'm going to put that photo in that box. There you go. That is how you place a photo into an InDesign document by using File and Place. You'll see there's one other option here. It says Place from CC Libraries. Well, in order to do that, you have to have a CC library set up. And over here you can see that I don't have a CC library set up. But if I did, I'd be able to go and just grab the photo out of there instead of from somewhere else. Now remember, when you place a photo in here, you are not placing the actual photo. What you see here is not the actual photo file. It is basically giving you a version of the photo, but not the actual photo. Why is that important? Well, if I was to send this to the printers, I would need to send them not just this page, but also the original photo. And the reason I mention that is because one of the issues that we have frequently, and I've mentioned this before when I talked about saving files, is that we have somebody that goes and gets a picture like this off of the internet. They download it to the desktop, and then they go click on File, Place, and they go into their desktop folder, and they grab that photo out of the desktop folder. You have to excuse me, this is some of my daughter's artwork. She is a My Little Pony fanatic. And they will take, and they will put that photo in there, and then they think that they're done. The problem is that if the file itself is not in the right spot, I will not be able to send that picture to the publisher, and the publisher will not be able to print that page. You don't want that to happen, because what happens is on deadline, and when I say on deadline, what I mean is on the day where we have to have everything turned in, we cannot have these kind of issues where we're hunting around the classroom trying to figure out who saved that photo and where they saved it, trying to log in using your username into a computer. It gets to be a mess. And I'll show you over here one of the ways that you can tell if your photos are okay is this is the links tab over here in this area, and we'll learn more about this. I just quickly want to show you. It's going to show the photos, and it's going to show that the photos are linked right here. If these photos were not linked, you would get a big exclamation mark here, which basically just means that you have an error. Another place that you would see that error is down here at the bottom of the page, right here where you see this green dot or light. That will have a red instead of green dot, and it will say one error or two errors, and basically that's going to signify for the person using a computer that there's something wrong with the file, and the file basically at that point can't go to the publisher. And so those things have to be worked out, but we can avoid them up front by making sure that if we do something like download something like this, that we download that to the yearbook drive. As long as it's in the yearbook drive and then you place it on the page, the computer will be able to find it from the yearbook drive using any computer in the classroom. But if you save it to your desktop on one computer and I'm working on another computer, my computer will not be able to communicate with the desktop of the computer you were working on. That computer you were working on, it may not even be in the classroom anymore. It may have gone somewhere. So just keep that in mind. That's important. So this is a tutorial about how to place photos. There's a lot more to it, and we're going to be doing a separate tutorial on that in just a minute. So please make sure that you have a good understanding of how to use file and place. Make sure you also know the importance of using the rectangular frame tool, and make sure that you understand that you have to use a selection tool to select where you want that photo to go on the page. As long as you know those things, you should be fine for the quiz, and then we'll just move on from there.